I'm holding in my hands the best jet of 2020 by e-flite. There's a couple close contenders like the Viper, the F-16 Thunderbirds, and the newly released Blue Angels, but I can boldly say that this is in my opinion, my personal favorite, and we're gonna talk about those reasons while I fly. If you're new to the channel and you've never seen me fly this before, I think you're in for a treat. And if you're a subscriber and you're tuning in to see me fly this for a maybe 20th time or so, we're gonna have some fun and we're gonna hit some nails on the head. Let's put this in the air and fly. There are a lot of things that I try to factor in when coming up with a bold statement like best jet of 2020. We're gonna go flaps full down. I think the two biggest ones in this order are performance and looks. And if we just based it on performance alone, a jet like the Viper would probably win. However, when you factor in looks as well, you get a jet like this, the A-10, and it really puts up a good fight against the Viper. Now, a lot of guys would say a Warbird, Nate, you're crazy. Warbirds, the flaps are up, don't stand a chance when it comes to performance, but this jet, the A-10, flies so true and just extremely predictable. It doesn't really stack up with the other Warbirds you've ever flown. There, my landing gear, up. So yeah, this thing performs extremely well. But when you stack up with the looks too, I think this easily takes the cake for me. Wow, look at that sunset right over the runway. Now you've got some other cool things too that this has going for it, not just looks, but with performance. We have a twin 64mm EDF system running. So we have two motors rather than one. This one does push over 100 miles an hour, just like the Viper and the Thunderbirds. And I love the lights, I love the retracts, I love the flaps. It just has a ton of functionality. And because of the technology on board this plane, the AS3X, which keeps your jet stable, and the safe technology, which I'm flying in safe mode right now, it makes it so much more beginner-ish friendly. I wouldn't say that this could be or should be a person's very first RC plane just because of the speed, power, and cost. But
and probably not your first jet either.
Maybe not, but if you have a really good knowledge base of how aviation works and you've flown simulators or video games in any way, shape, or form, I think you could handle this. Here we go. We're gonna kick it out of safe on this pass. Now, my bold statement there is an opportunity to open up a discussion with you guys. I'd love to hear your input in the comments below. Let's talk e-flite first. Of e-flite stuff, what is your favorite jet? What is your favorite plane? There's a nice snap roll. And A-10's not supposed to do. And then let's talk not e-flite. What's your favorite brand that's not? And why? So in the comments section, hit it up. Let's open up a discussion. This is my opinion, just through experience this year of 2020. And this is definitely my favorite jet, by far, overall. And Abby, after today's flight, at some point in time, has got to get her hands on this one. She's not flown it yet.
Keep saying I will. It just doesn't happen.
In safe mode, it's so predictable when you have safe on, and just fun and easy to fly. Orientation is great on this thing, and it just looks so good. Definitely my favorite Warbird plane that I've ever flown. Really fun to fly. Now I can't remember, Abby, they all start running together. I can't remember if I've ever flown this plane here at this location. I think all my takeoffs and landings on this so far have been on grass. So if you're wondering, can this fly and land and take off from a grassy area? Yes, it absolutely can. My landing gear has held up to it every single time. I probably have getting close to 100 flights on this now. We're gonna do a snap roll. It's crazy. I love doing that to this poor jet. and I've only just scuffed up a couple of my ordnances. A couple missile tips are missing. They're probably over in Death Valley somewhere. So this will be a fun first landing. If you're thinking, hey, I've seen enough, I'm gonna go buy this jet, stick around at least to see my landing. And I'm actually gonna fly another battery through this jet. Maybe I'll be a little more quiet on the second flight so people could just enjoy how it sounds, because it does sound really good. I like that twin motor look and sound and performance. Really nice. Now I'm not afraid or ashamed or embarrassed to admit that I will turn safe on there with my landing gear coming down, and I will use safe for my takeoffs and landings more often than not, because hey, 350 bucks or so is a lot of money, and if I have technology at my fingertips that can help with the landings, I'm going to help save the plane, especially if I'm somewhere I've never flown before. So we're gonna go half flaps.
Notice the 2 flybys Nate did this time. The last time we flew the jet, we forgot and paid for it.
Here we go, we're coming in.
I'll try to remember to card that video for you guys.
That was a good one. This ought to be good. There we go.
I love this plane.
3-point landing. 3-point landing every single time. And look at this thing with that sunset. Does it or does it not look so real?
There's lights.
In my next flight, I'm not gonna just sit here and brag about everything I love about it. I'm just gonna fly it and really just have some fun and let its flight be just kind of like standing on its own 3 feet for you guys.
You and your dad jokes.
I know, they're bad. There's nothing like a fresh battery. I'm excited. Sun's going down a little. Oh, did you feel the wind off that?
I did.
It was very cold. It's starting to cool off so much now. Okay, here we go. This thing, even after all my takeoffs and landings, still flies. Or, well, it flies great, but it drives and runs so level on the ground. Okay, flaps. I've got to reverse my switch on this. There's a landing gear going up. My flaps are up, and I can just enjoy the flight. I really just love how this thing looks, how it performs, how it sounds. It's just an awesome RC. It looks so good. Their safe is off. We're just gonna knock the socks off a little bit. I usually don't fly this upside down. I don't fly my favorite planes upside down. What about you guys? do you like to risk your favorite planes? I just like doing snap rolls on this and weird stuff that it's not supposed to do. But you know, I'm not one that just flies scale all the time if I have a scale plane. It's fun to. It's fun to do that, I think, like most of my flight, but then I really like to make a plane that looks like this, that you'd never see one in real life do, especially climbing this. It's never gonna do that. I like to do that because that's what makes RC fun. You can do some things with your plane, your toy, that you know, the full scale stuff can't do. All right, this is cool. There's a truck up over here on the ridge. Let's fly. Now, we're not actually over it, but probably gave them a cool little flyby. We're actually in between it, but that'd be really cool to fly up there. I'd like to stand up there and fly.
We'll have to do that one day.
Now look at this, we're gonna pass. I'm just cruising nice and slow, but man, that was probably really cool for them. I would love that. Look at that orange sky. I don't know if it looks good on camera, but wow.
That's the sunset.
Wow. Now how long will this climb before we stall? Have I ever done that? Just about forever. There's our stall point. That was really high up. Still under.
Really high up.
Still under 400 feet. Well under, but. And let's yank the sticks. Yeah, that's just cool. And those lights look so good right now.
The lights are actually on this side of the field.
Yeah.
They're showing up.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Okay, yeah. Occasionally I'll get a good glimpse of them. See them?
Zero throttle pass. And crank it. Love those twin motors. You can just hear them both wind up like almost slightly differently. It might be the echo off the building over here, but it just sounds so cool. Now I still say the Blue Angels jet just released recently sounds better than this. It's the best sounding one that I have, but this one just has a very unique sound and I like it a lot. This is one that I'd like to actually put a speaker in and have the cool real jet sound, and maybe a switch where I have like a gun sound. There's our truck that was just driving.
Oh, it's Nick.
I kicked safe on just so I can be distracted. That's the beauty.
I bet he went up there just to have you fly by.
Maybe. He's one of our full-scale pilots here at the airport. Okay, I guarantee he wants to see my landing, and I think we all do. So
check your landing gear.
yeah, we're going to go half flaps here. We'll go landing gear down. 1, 2, and 3. Let's bring it in. Are we going to go right to left?
Whatever
It
you
was
want.
fairly successful, so let's do that. Again, half flaps. This thing is just so sweet to fly. Man. Will it be consistent out of like getting close to 100 flights or so? Always have these perfect 3-point landings. Will we have that with this landing too? A lot of pressure on this one. A lot of pressure. Oh, little bounce. Little bounce. Oh my
and
god.
darken it. No, I messed up on the camera. That doesn't count.
Oh, good.
That's the worst landing you've ever done.
Horrible, horrible, horrible.
And I did terrible camera work, so
let's cut that out.
it was just a big fail.
Okay. The pressure felt way too high, didn't it?
Your landing gear's still good,
yes,
right? Okay.
Yes, yes. Oh, I have an audience here in person. I built the pressure up for myself. There it is. Oh, geez, what happened, everybody?
I don't know what happened on that.
Oh, okay. Oh, did we redeem ourselves? That's the big question.
Yes, you did. That's the first time you've ever not landed that like perfect, I feel like.
I don't get embarrassed when I make mistakes, but I got embarrassed for that one. That shouldn't have happened. Oh. But we're down, and what a great flight. Couple of flights. That was awesome. Well, and there's a little pause break there between the landing and now what you guys are hearing. I had a conversation with one of the full-scale pilots here. There's just a general love for aviation, whether you're full-scale or you fly the RCs, and a lot of people do both. And I really love and respect that about this hobby. Generally, there's a strong mutual respect for both parties, but more so on my end for the full-scale pilots, as it should be. Fly safely amongst your full-scale pilot, friends. Of course, we have 100% permission to fly here, but we always give way to our full-scale pilots. And on that note, I'd like to give a big shout out to AMA Insurance. They do, in fact, cover you, not just at AMA sanctioned fields, although you really should try to fly at AMA sanctioned fields when possible, but you are actually covered as long as you're not doing it recklessly. And just my opinion, and some guys have talked about this on the channel, like maybe they've missed the last couple months or so we've been talking about it, but I want to highly encourage you, if you're getting in the hobby, no matter how much technology you're flying with, no matter how crash proof you think you are, it's just, I'd never put anything in the air without my AMA insurance, which is the Academy of Model Aeronautics. Hopefully right about now.
He's already touched down.
Ah, good. Nice. He radioed in well before we knew he was coming down. That's why we stepped back here. But anyway, I think that the flights and everything should prove to you guys why this is my favorite jet, especially by e-flite. My opinion, of course, and hopefully you take my opinion in this video as an opportunity to voice your own opinion. Let me hear it in the comments below, not for my sake, please for my sake, but for everybody watching as well. Those of you that like to scroll through the comments, let's learn. Let's take a minute to learn. Hey, how are you? Your radio came in very clear.
It sounded good. You keep getting interrupted.
Sorry, yeah, but for good reason. I like these guys and they watch our videos, so but I just I want to hear from you guys. Let's learn what each other's favorites are. Please do buy something that I strongly recommend, because I get my hands on a lot of things, but also maybe you'll check something out that's in the comments that we all would not have known about until your comments. So it really comes in handy to have a good place where you can just talk about the hobby, and that's what our comment section is for. This and everything that I was flying with will be linked in the description box below. If you want to check it out for yourself, put it on your wish list, pick it up for Christmas, whatever, it's there. And if you want my recommendation on radio, batteries, charger, all of that, I'll link it, everything that I fly on. And that landing gear is very robust. That was a pretty rough landing that none of us actually saw.
No one saw it.
But it does prove how durable that landing gear is. I think this is probably e-flite's best landing gear that retracts, it's got to be on this jet. It's really tough. For all my goodness and happiness in my life and just everything that makes my life what it is, I thank God. And I also want to say a huge thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys know this. We couldn't do our channel without you. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart. From a $1 support or top tier patrons, you mean the world to us. Guys, we'll have another awesome airplane video popping up right about now, made just for beginners wanting to get in this hobby. 2 really strong recommendations in that one video for whatever your budget is. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.